Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are looking at Undying Dynasties, this time for a 3000 point army with a budget of 150 euros or less for the miniatures only. So this is a continuation of the series where I'm watching for different armies that you can build on a budget. And well, this time we have arrived at the Undying Dynasties. This is New Recruit. It's a software in which you can build all kinds of army lists for 9th Age. And as you can see, there's all kinds of different buttons that you can use to modify your units and just give the upgrades to different characters. And you can build lists for any army with this software, and it's pretty neat, I would say. You can also get an overview at the end, and I'll make it a bit bigger so that you can read. So for the 3000 point army, I generally try to just get a little bit of iconic models in the army, but also a bit of a staple for further expansion. This time it's no different. So we have a couple of characters. We have a big block of spears, skeletons. You're gonna need a lot of skeletons anyway if you're gonna run Undying Dynasties, either skeletons or maybe you are more inclined to get the Necropolis Guard. But in that case, you can also use the same models in 9th Age for Necropolis Guards as for your skeletons, as long as you have a little bit of a differentiation in the models, in either the paint job or some fancy banners for the unit, or well, you can customize it a bit. But anyway, these 60 infantry models are going to be quite useful to you. Then we have 10 blocks of 10 skeleton archers, so this is one of the ways to also be able to protect your Hierophant in Undying Dynasties. It used to be a bit of a bigger thing. I think now if you lose your Hierophant, you're going to lose 1 wound per unit per game turn that's still left. So that is not as big of a deal as it used to be before. But then again, being able to fly over with your Hierarch, he can fly because of the Sandstorm Cloak. You can just fly over to different skeleton archer units, and it doesn't really matter if these units are going to be dying at the end of the game. Then we have some Tomb Cataphracts, some Shaptis to allow you to investigate which kind of special choice you prefer, because basically you're going to end up with one of them. 2 Sand Scorpions because I think they're awesome, and then we have a Colossus. You can also switch out the Colossus for another big monster, but I think this setup gives you a bit of a feel of what the army plays like, and is a good starting point to further expand the army. Now, 150 euros for this amount of models, how are we gonna do that? So basically what I found with making these videos is that your bulk of the army has to be cheap, and you can have a cheap bulk, draw your characters from this bulk, and then for the special stuff you actually have quite a lot of money left. So for this setup, our crutch is going to be the Plastic Soldier Company Ancient Egyptian Infantry. So Undying Dynasties, a lot of people like to play them with skeleton models, but you can also just get alive models. So you can just get this Ancient Egyptian Infantry box from Zvezda. Oh dear, it went away. So apparently it looks like this, and it has a lot of models in there. So basically it's historical inspired Egyptian infantry. The numbers below here indicate how many models there are in one box of this. So you have 6 in this stand, 6 in this stand, 6, etc, etc. Then you have some archers that you can use as your skeleton archers, and you have a command group. So in total it's going to be 46 figures, well, with that, if you buy 2 boxes, you're just set for your skeletons, basically. For your 60 skeletons with spears, your 30 skeletons with archers, and you can even draw out the characters by just taking a couple of these models and designating them as your characters. For example, this guy can be a Death Cult Hierarch. You can have 2 of them, so you can make your Hierarchs out of this. And then this guy, the banner bearer, can be either the banner for your skeletons, or you can use him as the Tomb Harbinger. You can also use any other model that you really like. And then, well, basically we have already dealt with this part of the list for 20 euros because these boxes are 10 euros each, meaning that we have 130 euros left for the rest, and that is going to be quite manageable, I would say. So as you might have seen already, I opened up a lot of tabs of Reaper Miniatures. So Reaper Miniatures is a company that makes all kinds of single sculpt molecules or miniatures, I would say. So what I mean by that is they don't have a box with different poses of the same miniature, but they just have a lot of different miniatures. Then again, they also have quite a lot of different crocodiles. So the dire crocodile, different prints. I don't specifically know why the prices vary so much, but probably it has to do with the scale of the models. So I think maybe this dire crocodile for 15 euros is going to be quite big. The 5 euro one is going to be a bit smaller, so that's the only downside with Reaper. You don't really get an indication of how big these models are. But then again, these crocodiles, we can use them as the tomb cataracts. Then we continue with, well, walking crocodiles basically. So this guy and Shrent, Alligator Man, and the were crocodile. Once again, I don't know about the scale of these, but yeah, it's a bit of a risk, of course. But they would serve as your Shaptis. If you wanted to be a bit more sure, you can go for the more expensive version, and probably it's going to be big enough. But then you have only one stance. You can also look around at Reaper Miniatures and see what other cool stuff they have. For the Sand Scorpions, they have some amazing choices though. So I have an entire tab open with the different scorpions that they have. So they have this giant scorpion. They also have the Nefsokara monster, giant scorpion monster, and also just smaller scorpions. They also have them. Even have a scorpion man. Personally, I would not go for this one, but you know, there's always people that really like stuff like that. So you just have your giant scorpion. You have a 21 euro giant scorpion, so probably that's going to be a bigger one. It's going to be a bit of a gamble just ordering all this stuff, but if you like the feel, then you should definitely go for it. This is our colossal skeleton. This is gonna be your Colossus with paired weapons, because the miniature has paired weapons. So this guy is actually, I saw another picture of it somewhere. I can see if I can quickly find it. Reaper Colossal Skeleton. Yeah, there it is. So here you can see the scale a bit better. Hope you can see it like this. Here. So this guy is gonna scale out to be about yay big. I think it's a cool sculpt, and it's a very nice addition to your army. In this setup that we have with the Egyptian models and all the crocodiles, he doesn't really blend in with the rest of the skeletons in your army because you don't have any. But then again, he's quite cool. Alternatively, you could also go for a, what are we calling it nowadays? Dread Sphinx, or the Battle Sphinx, because actually they have a Pharaoh dragon which works quite well with the Egyptian theme. So honestly I don't really remember which one of the options is the flying options for Undying Dynasties, but you can take the flying option and then use this model for it. I think it's gonna look amazing. And otherwise you still have this Bone Horror Necropolis monster, which is also cool. And you have Scuttlebones, the undead crab. He can also be one of your Tomb Scorpions, or he can be one of your Cataphracts. This is the thing with Reaper Miniatures, they have so much different stuff that you have to be a bit creative yourself, but then if you are, then you can just put an army together based on these different choices. So for the people who have been watching my series, they already know that I always show also a Warhol Pro shot of the army. So Warhall Pro, once again, is a software that allows you to, oh, I have one guy too much, to just create your armies online, play against other people online, and you can get a free version. There's also a pro version that's a bit more beefed out, but it's just great for putting your army on a table, on a virtual table, and just trying out a little bit how the army works, and it's quite intuitive. You can easily move units everywhere you want. And well, you get a bit of a feel for the army. So what we have here is the army as it's fully fleshed out. We have the big block of skeletons, we have the skeleton archers in the back, we have the tomb scorpions here on the flanks, we have the Shaktis, the tomb cataphracts and the colossus, and then here we have the 3 characters that you will be playing. So with that, I think that the list itself, it's going to be a bit more difficult than some of the others that I've featured on my channel, because Undying Dynasties is they enjoy having bigger units, and you have a lot of small units in this sense. But then again, the Colossus is going to be great for fighting infantry. The Shaptis and the Cataphracts are great tools to have, and these skeletons, they're not going to go anywhere at 3k. So yeah, with that, I am going to conclude. I hope you like this, and I will see you the next time.